Same old, same old, same old, same old. Doing the same dang thing. I know, I know. Same thing I was working on before. It's going to be one of those things. There's going to be times when I work on the same thing for days because some things are hard. They take time. It's just going to be, I might try to come up with different titles, different thumbnails, but you're going to get a lot of the same thing. Because I'm just afraid that in the event that I get all of my things functioning, I could spend as much, if not more time, just creating the dang models. And I'm so dreading that. Just like animating guys, I feel like I could spend months just trying to get guys animated and modeled and colored, and they'll never look as good as I want them to because I just don't have that artistic chops. I don't know how to do that. I don't conceive it. I don't the finagling of meshes and textures and shaders, and I get it. I see them. I can see throwing them in. They're just never gonna look right. They're never gonna look the way they should. I mean, it's just me. It's just my brain is logic and flow and and code structure. I can do all that. I can make it. I can send out cool data and responses and make things just do great things. They just can't look good doing it. And so yeah, we're gonna see. I just hope it so much that some miracle happens and the Lord says, "Hey, I got this guy for you. He's or this girl or whatever. Somebody who just says, you know, I like football. I want to help you create some characters for this game. Let's make a deal." And I was all right. Let's talk. Because I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Well, let's get this thing going here. So I think I dumped team data in return. Oh yeah, because team data was a class. And we're gonna go with let's just change this to team. We're gonna change this to team also. And then this is team ID. Oops. And then team and game session dot teams. Game session? Game session has a teams? Oh, is that an array of teams? Oh, that's the object coming back. That's probably capital I. Or is it team ID? Nope. Well, what is it coming back with? From JSON, game session. Wait, what is the game session coming back with? Team. Oh, is it going to be exactly the same? So it's this is my game data. Game data is coming back with teams. And teams, what is it coming back with in the ID? It should be capital I, lowercase d. And then for each team, oh, it should be capital I, lowercase d too. Each team. All right, where's team data supposed to be called? set up. All right, what am I doing here? So we got, it's got to come back as the game session team. So well, I gotta have this. It's got to have the same stuff as the API call. Let's go back over here and look at the gateway. Gateway says that my simulator, must be simulator. Simulator has a game session, so and that one's calling API game session. Okay. Is it just game session? It's not get game session or anything? Gameplay. Run next play, run game. Okay. It's not the simulator. How's it getting there then? Create game status buffer mark processing streamer pending. Nope, it's none of those. Well, where the heck is it? How's it making this call? API game session. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. I think it created a fake game session. I don't think that exists. What are you calling, man? You're making stuff up. API / game session. That's what I thought. You made that up. That's not a real thing. Darn code, making up nonsense. AI just going around like, I don't know, but we're gonna do it something like this. It's like, no, just use. I have a game. I have game objects already. You don't need to make stuff up. Yeah, doodle brain thingamabob. All right, so what I actually need to do is call run game, which is going to create the game session, and that's totally not going to return anything that expects, I'm sure. So it's either run game. Why would it even have a game ID? So game ID would be determined by what? Whatever I passed it. Fetch game session. Now I have a game ID run next play. Or get next play. Run next play? Oh, yeah, run next play. So run next play is going to run get next play. And we return, this doesn't actually tell you what it's going to return, but create a custom request that includes the streamer key. I don't even know why it does. Why does it include the streamer key? I guess it could, but I don't know why. All right. Well, I guess I got to figure out why or where it's calling this from. What is its? This is game data. This is being called from something. Because ultimately, this is the wrong API, and that is not okay. Interesting. There's nothing actually calling. Oh, are we doing a start coroutine again? Oh, you doodlehead. I told you don't use coroutines. What part of don't use coroutines do you not understand? Where? Oh, I wonder if it can read it. Maybe it can't read it from here. Can you search this? Oh, that's wait a minute, do I have two things open? Do I have two? I do. I have two chats in Windows. I didn't even know I could have two chats in Windows. I have three chats. I have one in the app and two in different apps. Holy moly! I'm really stocking up on the chats here. Huh. All right. Well, let's clear this, I guess. I don't have. That's not the one he had. Can I go to where's history? Open chat and sidebar. Blah blah blah. Open. You can split editor. Huh. Isn't there a history? All right, I thought there was. Maybe it's in here. And, oh, here's history. Code base need program I have. I need to program I have all my. Curious. Did this create? Game. Playbook plays, playbook manager, available plays, game card, image loader, playbook. Huh. Oh, there's game data. It did create a fetch game session. Can I swap over to ask? Why did you use API/game session / game ID and creating a fetch game session? You know, it's possible. All right, let's actually look at this. Before I blame AI, it's possible this was a placeholder. Let's go see if maybe it was a placeholder. Ah, it was a wait, no. No, this was totally empty prior to this. This didn't even exist. it added this team ID stuff. Request next play, fetch next play. That's all it did. All right, I forgive you. It's not your fault. This existed before. And therefore the problem is mine. Let's just rephrase this. I'm gonna yell at AI. You did this dumb thing, and it probably did create it, but at the time I probably didn't even have. It was a placeholder when I was first setting things up, and I didn't actually expect it to connect to my APIs yet because I didn't have anything to connect to. So what this is going to have to do is it's going to have to be a call to to run game, start game session. Okay, so and plus it was use a subcode routine, which I was yelling at. We need to update this class to get rid of the coroutine functionality and call run game API through the simulator gateway service simulator.go in the gateway service. Run game. What does... I think run game returns an initial state. I'm pretty sure. Let's go look at what run game actually does. I'm pretty sure it returns the initial state that I'm going to use in my app here. Game session has the home team, the away team. Create the game session. Return initial game information. So we're going to have it comes back with the game session. Game session has the details of each team, which is home team and away team. And then the next play result returns the next play response. So this is a game session and the last play game state. Okay. So when we do a run game, it's going to do call get new game session with correct parameters, game rules, game session, get game by ID. And then set up teams, converting team IDs to team details. What is the request expecting here? We got to have home team ID, away team ID. So if we don't have game ID, so we either got to have a game ID or we have to have fix or no game ID, which will go get the rules, blah, 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 get new game session, blah, blah, blah. So we don't have to have that. We're going to come in with an empty game ID and we'll just create a new game session. Get team details, home team ID. Oh, so that's where we have team IDs, but we don't have a game. Oh, so that would be like streamer. Okay, so the streamer game comes in with team IDs but no game, so we create a game for it. But otherwise, we have to come in with a game. Don't have a way to get game. I'm trying to think of the easiest way. I want to come up with a way that we can do this without a game ID session. Oh, let's turn on my music. I'm thinking I got to come up with let's try this one.
Hi everyone, welcome back to
I don't know why people think that's good to study it. Just makes me feel sleepy. This track is for working on advanced and complicated topics such as coding, programming, math, science, financial analysis, complex mental activities. Isochronic tones produce a more substantial brainwave entertainment effect when compared to binaural beats or traditional music. What is this? High intensity audio brainwave entertainment. Oh wow, I gotta go with that. Oh, I already feel like I can code up craziness. All right, let's go. All right, so I need a way to test my code, to run these functions without actually having valid stuff. I have teams, but they don't have all the data they need associated to them yet. But I still need to make calls into the run game so I can get back dummy data. So like I'm thinking what I might do is provide like a test ID, like test teams, just dummy sort. I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. But before I get too hot, I'm gonna take this sweatshirt off. Warmth is the enemy of concentration. I mean, there's a line there, right? Because if you don't have airflow, you get warm. You get warm, you get sleepy. You get sleepy, you don't accomplish anything. Okay, so. We need to update this class. I probably need to tell it what class. We need to do this too. Which class is this? Oh, they created those dumb things. Oh. We need to update this class to get rid of code routine functionality, which isn't this class. Set up team. See, I don't know how I want to do this. I want to set up a proper flow, which means the first step would be to call the run game method. All right, let's try this. We need to update this class to get rid of the coaching functionality and call run game API to the simulator.go and the gateway service. Run game. Two. One. Two. We need to create a test flow that allows us to test front end functionality back end data that is not yet defined. Run game should build a dummy record in the event we pass back a negative value for game ID. A negative value for game ID. It's not game IDs are not. It's not gonna work because game IDs or team IDs are text. Kurama 23, how you doing, man? What's the latest and the greatest with you? User account has not that. User account has this. My team is set up as a string. My team values are. Wait, I don't have my team ID identified. Oh god, why not? Play routine. Oh, I wonder if team is sitting in the. I wonder if team is sitting in play or in the simulator still. Do I not have a team definition for my? Ah, is it in here? Why do I not? Team info. Oh, I have a team info in there. N.N? What is N.N? I don't know what that is. Alrighty. Well, I guess I can go look at my. I do have a team in here, so let's go look at my thing. I don't know where the team is being identified. I could probably. I'm doing good, man. I'm having a good go of it. Trying to start plugging my teams in. What is this team? So, how would I do a negative? I can't do a negative. What was I thinking? We'll call it. How about a number? Team test 1 and team test 2. Yes. but not in any of the languages I'm currently working in. I've been developing for about 20 years in code, but my experience was almost entirely in C# .NET framework, which right now they're using Core and MVC, and SQL Server. And I did a lot. I actually created actual full-on applications out of SQL Server, and I built one that was a controller for a reporting system that my company was using. Then I got laid off. And apparently that stuff don't translate to today, because I've been unemployed now for over a year. So I said, about 7 months ago, I decided, you know what? Nobody's made a good football game yet. Not any that I like, because I've tried out like 30. And I said, dude, I'm going for it. So here I am. Until December, I had never heard of Go. I've never heard of ngrok, Docker, or any of the other tools that I've recently put in. I had never seen Unity in my life. So 7 months later, I've got a Unity application. I've got 10 backend Go services running off a Mongo database I've never worked with before. I've got a React front end attached to it. But now I'm in Unity, and I'm working on the trying to get items and models working in Unity. So yeah, that's quite the experience there. And I am not an artist. I'm so not an artist. Hey man, I hope it goes well for you, because it's tough to be a computer engineer these days. I'm telling you. Companies, they always want the unicorn in their interviews, and it's like, yeah, it's a mess. The way they hire anymore. It's good work if you can get it. And if you're good at what you do, and maybe if you're overseas and you're offshore, because here in the US it's tough because they're hiring overseas. Because I guess hiring engineers here in the United States is really too expensive. I don't know what TT_TT is, but yeah, it's challenging. It's you got to enjoy it, because here's the thing about programming, and I think this is going to be a thing. AI is very helpful, very, very helpful, but so helpful that a lot of companies at some point are going to go, we don't need as many developers because AI is helping us get through it a lot faster. And AI is going to make a lot of work easier. I'm going to tell you right now, AI is not taking anyone's jobs outside of, it's not able to do the job completely. And I don't think it's anywhere near. I've been using it now on a bunch of different apps, complex, full-featured applications. AI can help, but it can't do. Vibe coding is not going to replace developers. I kind of played with Python for a bit, and I basically just wanted to learn how it was different from other coding languages. And easiest, I don't know. I guess. I don't know. I didn't find it necessarily easy. I didn't spend enough time in it to really form a full opinion. I didn't like Python for one specific reason. They use tabs as syntax, or indentation as syntax. And I thought that was silly. That's like, I don't like, the two things I despise most are case sensitivity and indentation for syntax. So when I was playing with it, I kept running into errors simply because my certain lines weren't indented correctly. I was like, man, I have enough trouble with case sensitivity. I don't need indentation to be throwing itself into the mix. So yeah, I prefer languages that are explicit. They stop trying to hide behind things like that. I prefer like things that'll put parentheses on your code. What's so hard about putting some brackets around code to identify what's inside of a section? It's 2 extra letters, 2 extra characters, instead of trying to implement something goofy like indentation. Yeah, well, databases now are all different, right? I mean, you've got NoSQL databases, you've got relational databases, and I for years been working on SQL Server, which a lot of companies still do, and it's an enterprise database. But Mongo database is a NoSQL database using, basically JSON as the source. Every file in there is a document, a JSON document, basically. And so you're pulling these out and reading them as JSON, and so that's new to me. I hadn't worked with that before. I'm kind of starting to get it now, but I do all my database manipulation right now through the Go services, so I haven't even gotten in there and started really working directly with the data. When I want to pull something, I set up a Go command or Go method to pull data from the database or to put it in. So manipulating the data directly is pretty rare for me. I don't actually go in and just do SQL calls or anything like that, so queries. Right, what would I use? Test. One game should build a dummy record in the event we pass back a _ test value. Geez, do I even have any games? I don't think I have any games in my system. Probably not even a game table yet. Game sessions table. There it is. I do have a game sessions. Why do I have game sessions? Oh, streamer game. Yeah, that's right. All right. Oh, my game IDs are terrible. I gotta switch that over. I don't like this goofy thing. Well, I thought I was going to be pretty intimidated. I was pretty intimidated when I started saying I'm going to do all these languages I'd never seen before. But I've been doing coding long enough that I understand maybe not the syntax of stuff, but I understand the logic of stuff. So I can look at code and go, okay, it's doing this, it's doing that. I may not always know what some of the methods are doing or functions because I've never, I'm just learning that stuff. But I can look at it and understand how this JSON is laid out, what it's doing. I mean, because I've seen this kind of thing enough times in the past that I understand it. But that's from, years of experience to the point where I feel comfortable looking at something and going, that's kind of what's happening there. Now, could I go out and write, I've been working in Go now for about 5 months, 6 months almost. And all this, all my functions, all of my Go services, that's all this stuff here. It's, these are just simple calls. But if I go to my services, all these methods here, I didn't know Go at all, and I didn't understand a lot of these structures. But now, after 5 months, I've been kind of starting to see how these responses work and the requests and what they're passing back. And I'm starting to get a pretty good feel of what's going on, what's not actually in there when you're passing it to. That's just, I don't know, I guess it's just experience and understanding how things are coming together. And I did do some I watched some YouTube videos for basic structures just so I understood the simple parts, the opening parts of the language, like how does it declare variables, like what does this underscore mean. All this underscore means is that you're getting back a value that you don't care about. You're just basically throwing it away. It's an int value that's coming back from this range, but all you want is the game. And the int is probably a counter of some kind. It's like, this is blah, 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 what you're going to get. And it just doesn't care. So you're saying, I don't care what that letter is. I'm not using it. Just use the other object. So underscore is basically an ignore the return value. But there's a lot of weird stuff like that in Go, and I'm just kind of starting to get the hang of all that stuff. there's still some things that bug me. As I learn more and more, my experience with coding will also tell me if this structure's a good idea, like why are we doing it this way? And I'll often be able to tell AI, which is helping me get through this, look, let's do this a different way. This is not a good coding practice. And that, again, that just comes from coding experience. I know that you don't want to do certain things, and AI sometimes does it. One of the things it's been doing is creating these coroutines, which I think is a very bad process. And it's funny because this has, like right here, it says start coroutine, which is basically a function that goes out and calls a function. It's a function to get a function. And I'm like, why don't we just call the function directly? Create like a direct access call. And it's funny because you ask AI, you go, why are we using this coroutine? It says, that's a really good question. There is a more modern way to do this. We should update it to this. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. And then 10 minutes later, it writes another one. And I'm like, you said this other way is better. Why are you still writing this sub coroutine? And it's like, oh yeah, let's do it that way. I'm like, why do you? But I realize that this is old because when you're using AI, especially if you use Copilot, I'm telling you right now, here's a tip. Create an instruction file. Oh, it's so helpful. I just created. It took me 6 months to realize this. Create an instruction file. It's so helpful. An instruction file gives the AI in Copilot, for example. I don't know if other languages probably have some way to set some of this stuff up too. But if you're using Copilot in VS Code, which you'll probably use VS Code because there are IDEs specific to Python, specific to everything. But most, if not many companies use VS Code as their IDE because it can basically support almost every language. You can see in here I've got a Go services, I've got C# code, I've got React code, I've got all of them here in VS Code, so I can go in here and do all of this stuff. So yeah, but there's this file. You go into your GitHub files here, and you create this Copilot-instructions file. And essentially what this does is it gives the AI something to read every time you ask it questions. And it'll read this and it'll use what you say here as the basis for all actions it does. And what this will be like, don't use coroutines. All of my code for this should go in these files or those files. This is where you can find this code. Let's see. Just basically every type of structure. These are the versions of code I'm using. I'm using React 19, TypeScript 5, Go 1.2. And this way, it doesn't start writing code for you for the wrong version of code. You're giving it all the information it needs right out the gate so that it can get to the point quicker. And if you ever see anything it's doing consistently, now you're a new programmer, so you may not always know, but one of the things you will learn after working with AI, and I hope that they teach you when you're taking these classes, don't be a programmer that ignores AI. Don't be that guy who says, oh, I don't need AI. I'm going to be a great programmer without it. I can be just as good, if not better than AI. Yes, you can, but you're going to take months to do something that AI could help you do in weeks. Okay, so work with AI. Learn to work with it. Learn to understand what it's doing. Follow its processes. Let it type the code for you if it can. In some cases, and it can even help you find bugs. But right now, things like Agent. I use Agent sometimes on brand new code. Just because, I know it might be a bunch of files. Agent is, again, Copilot's the Copilot interface that you're using for AI. And it has Agent. Agent and Edit, they write code for you. don't use it on existing code. I'm telling you, don't do it. You'll hate yourself. It will screw up your code way too often. Yeah, that sucks, man. Bad teachers aren't cool. Yeah, and I have a lot of people come by and ask me my opinion and direction, and honestly, I'm not a teacher either, and I can just give tips and suggestions and guidance, but like somebody comes to me and starts asking me Go questions or React questions, even though I'm writing a bunch of code in it, it's because I know how to work with AI. I've learned to work with AI, and I know enough about programming to understand what's happening. So it's kind of symbiotic in that I get to act like a lead developer with a very skilled junior developer. And AI is like my very skilled junior developer. Knows a lot of how to write the code, knows all the words, doesn't make a lot of typos. But it needs some guidance. You need to have some mold and structure and ability to get it on the right path to create clean, solid, good code. And that's kind of the part I'm playing with AI. And I think that's the future of software development. I think learning code well enough so when you're learning all this stuff, two things you need to learn. I'm telling you, this is my instruction on how to be instructed. Learn to use AI and learn what good software is. How's it structured? Learn code structures and learn all of the basic concepts down. Get them solid, the basic concepts. Don't worry so much about the syntax, because the future of coding is not people who know syntax. It's not. AI is going to get better. It's good now, and AI can do syntax. If you mess up a syntax or type something wrong, you can have AI help you to correct that. No, because I'm self-taught. I didn't go to school for AI, for programming. I never had the money to go to school for that. So, but necessity, as they say, what is it? Something? Necessity is the, I don't know, something about necessity and learning. Basically what it was for me is I was trying to start a business, and I was like, well, how do I store customer data? And so I got Access, which is an old Microsoft database, which I don't even know if they still make it. They might, but I don't know. It's pretty uncommon these days. But it had a programming language in it called Access Basic when I started in it, which eventually became Visual Basic for Applications, which is still being used to this day in all of the Microsoft Office apps. You know, the Excel and Word and all that stuff. And they've upgraded it over the decades. And once I learned VBA, I was like, well, I could probably do VB. It's just a more in-depth version. So I got a job doing VB. And then as time went on, I just kept taking on a different language or a different thing. And it was just a branching effect. My skills branched out and I learned other things. But for me, I was always most successful, and I had opportunities to build stuff, to actually create things, because that's where my mind goes. Mostly, I stream most days, yeah. Like I've, especially now that I'm creating this game, I've been streaming since November. So yeah, I stream most days now. Don't stream. When I stream on Saturdays, it's on a different channel. I have a Active Mind Gamer, and Friday nights and Saturday, if I'm streaming, it's just I'm gaming. I take a day off, and then other times I'm oftentimes just doing this, trying to build this game of mine, and I might stream 2 or 3 times a day. Like I might stream in the morning for a few hours, in the afternoon, in the evening. I think I've streamed 4 times in a day before, like a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours right around noon, a couple hours later in the afternoon, a couple hours again in the evening. Like right now, I'll probably stream for about another 45 minutes or so, and then I got to go to bed, get up, and do it again tomorrow. But so yeah, it's all just all a learning thing for me, and I like to talk to people, get their opinions on things, solicit. What I mean by solicit is I'm a streamer who's been unemployed for a year or so. You'll hear me mention every now and then, if you want to back someone, hey, welcome to back me. I have a Patreon. I'll be launching an Indiegogo, but I'm not a hard sell. Don't worry about it. You'll hear me say it like twice a week when I go, oh yeah, I should say something. But you know, some people probably push it harder than I do. I always feel guilty asking for that kind of thing, but hey, I'm anything I can do. So hopefully, what I'm hoping is people will say, hey, I want to be part of this game. You know, I want to help test it and do all that. And then I'm allowing my Patreon backers to get backer codes once I start getting code out to available for testing. And it's not pre-release or anything like that. It's just, you know, you got to have somebody help test the app. So I'm doing that. So, you know, but I'll probably have that available. I'm hoping soon. I already have a public release version, but it's not like accessible all the time. It's down a lot. In fact, the current version of my public release stuff is like 3 months old because I've kind of been working so much on this other stuff. I haven't released a new version. Anyway, it doesn't have that much. There's no real gamification in it yet, which is what I'm trying to get to now. Run game should build a dummy record in the event we pass back. So you can see I'm building a request to AI right now to try to get my stuff built up here. And I was trying to figure out how I wanted to write my test. Game underscore test. I wonder, how do I, no, because the game ID has a long ID. And I'm using, see, the problem is I'm trying to get back a game ID or use a game ID that's a dummy. Yeah, we'll call it game test. Which will not be in the database. As a result, subsequent calls to get next play, simulator, run game, how's run play, run game, get next play result. Get next play result, which is through the gateway called run next play. Gateway call run next play. API point simulator game We'll also need to return a dummy record when that team ID passed. But I'm telling you now, I don't know how colleges and schools and everybody teach coding these days, and there's going to be, I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of people, in fact a lot of teachers even maybe, that try to say do not use AI while in school. And that's probably true because you need to do school and learn the stuff, because you need to get down a solid understanding of code structures. That's like, I would say, probably the first year of learning how to code. I mean, that's all the stuff you get in the first year should be that stuff is the stuff you want to get down, understand, make your code maintainable, make it all, just understand what you're looking at. Don't even worry about syntax. I mean, yeah, I guess you have to for school, but what I'm saying is AI could take care of syntax for you, man. And AI will be around forever. People are going to use it for a long time. It's going to get stronger and better and faster. And I just don't think syntax is that important. You can ask certain questions to find out what methods and functions to use, and you don't even have to worry about goofy things like understanding what a pointer is. All that kind of stuff is all important, yes, but I just think there's a lot, like all of this code you see here where they created the handles and the functions and the gateway calls. I didn't type any of this. I mean, AI typed it for me, and it saved me. I have 70,000 lines of code in this application I've written in the last 7 months. That's 10,000 lines of code a month. What is that? Like 2,500 lines of code every week of since I started this. I can't type 2,500 lines of code. That's, 500 lines of code a day? Of solid working code a day? 500 lines? I'm not that good. I'm not that good. I spend a lot of time debugging and fixing and correcting what AI is doing, but it's not nearly as much time as it would take me to be debugging, fixing all of my code, which would take a lot longer to write. Because I don't know these languages. But if I knew the languages perfect, still probably couldn't write 500 lines of functional working code. I probably wouldn't make as many silly mistakes and structural errors that AI does, but the amount of time it's saving me is way more than the time I'm spending, ironing it out. I might spend a few hours ironing out the mistakes I see and what I don't like, but there's been once or twice I had to do some major refactoring, but that came from not knowing the language and not understanding. As I started learning the language and the structures and seeing what was going on, I had to go back with the AI. I said, all right, I get it now. Let's redo this. So I refactored some code, but got everything kind of ironed out the way I wanted. A lot of it is case sensitivity stuff. I will always, you'll hear me complain about that until the day I die. It's case sensitivity is stupid. And if you don't understand where, what, why of case sensitivity, you will pull your hair out if you haven't already. A good thing I don't have a lot of hair, because I would be pulling it out. Trying to find errors related to case sensitivity. Oh man, you don't know how many times I was like, what is wrong with this? It matches, la 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 la. They're like, oh no, but it needs to be a capital I and a lowercase d, or capital I, capital D in this language because the different languages use different cases, and it's like, oh god. And they depend on it. It's like, if it isn't this way, it won't be able to read it. It's not just, you know, you want to do like all lowercase all the way across all your code. Nope, can't do it because some code languages won't work that way. They want to be camel case or Pascal case or what is the other snake case. Oh, please don't get me started on snake case. Some people like snake case, but but there's Pascal, camel, snake, and I don't know, there's some other ones, but I don't mind camel case. I actually used to prefer Pascal personally, but and luckily I'm not forced to use snake that often. You'll know all that stuff, they'll tell you, but just don't worry about it. Needless to say, to sum it up, snake case likes underscores, and it's dumb. All right, I'll help you update the code. Remove code routine functionality. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is go to register, simulate routes. Wait, are we changing this one? Simulator.go file indicate. Wait, why are we updating this? Parse additional parameters. Oh, we're just cutting it off right at the core. I don't know if I like my gateway handling that stuff though. Parse additional parameters. Quarter. Create a custom request that includes the game ID. How does it? So it's just creating this. Oh. So it's going to create just the. I don't think that's going to be a correct. Oh, is that going to be a correct formatted? I don't feel like that's going to be a correct response. I feel like it's missing stuff. Because if my... Oh, it's creating a request. Oh. Really? Huh. So it's creating a request and it's going to pass it in. Alright, I guess I have to let it use it. Alpha function to create test response for run game. Just feel like I have a problem with my gateway doing this. I'd rather my requests be dumb, not no. I'd rather it be in the game. Plus it lets me go into my game. Yeah. Is it creating a test request here? I don't want it creating the response. But if it creates, yeah. No. Can't. Let's do this. I don't mind the gateway generating a dummy quest to pass through to the simulator service, but I think simulator service should handle the dummy responses, not the gateway. Honestly, I'm almost thinking the gateway should just be dumb all along. I'm actually thinking I don't even want to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna say no to that too. A dummy request. Because no, I shouldn't even have to. I think I need to get a valid request because the UI should send a valid request. I mean, it shouldn't send, it may not be valid data, but it should be a valid request with all the right values. Don't mind the gateway. No, we're gonna do this. I think the simulator server should handle the dummy response, not the gateway. I prefer the UI should generate a valid request, even if the data is just the predefined test values. So in essence, that's not how you spell essence. So how do you spell essence? Is it essence? Oh gosh. I don't know why I can't, my brain don't want to figure that out. But anyway, so in essence, the gateway should be oblivious to the fact that dummy data is passing through. Run game handler function takes the game. Yeah, I know that. Simulator service implementation should handle any test. If you need to implement dummy responses testing, you should modify the simulator service. Keep the gateway as simple. All right. It could be. Provided dummy data setup above. Let's just rewrite that so that it applies, so that it Did it actually give me an update to get rid of the coroutine too? Similar sort of information I have on the desktop. Let's create a player identifier class. Player identifier class? What do I need that for? Identifies the player's position on the team. Yeah, I probably do need that. This is all kind of... Let's create a fixed speed control class. Wait a minute. Did I already do this stuff? Update game state from response. Okay, where are we here? Oh, you know what happened? Great gurgly murgly. Ah! I gave it a... I made life difficult for it and me. All right, so we're going to try to, I don't know, what was I looking at before? Did I write this in? Looking at the code, I can see what your message is trying to, oh no, let's close that for now. I don't need that. And this one isn't going to do anything because this is not even, oh, that's not even got AI open. Do I have another? Oh, this is my Blender stuff. Oh yeah, Blender. Hey, Karama, if you happen to know any Blender people who love working in Blender and want nothing better to do with their time than to help me create characters for free, send them my way. I need some animators. I know. I'm dreaming the big dream. Five of the Broncos' 21 top 100 draft selections in 2017 through 2022 remain on the team, including the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Pat Surtain, and All-Pro Nick Bonito. Wow, he's the Defensive Player of the Year. Pat Surtain was that good? I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was that good. That is so much money. Teams should not pay that much money. I don't care. Sorry, reading news on the Broncos. I'm a Broncos fan. Can't help it. I get distracted by things like Broncos news sometimes. And it really wasn't important. I don't know what I was distracted by. It was nonsense. Well, it was just talking about how the 49ers just gave Brock Purdy a stupid size contract, $265 million. Now he can go down the toilet like Russell Wilson did and tank the 49ers for 5 years. Denver's just barely recovering from that whole Russell Wilson debacle. Everybody thought, oh, Denver might be good now. They got Russell Wilson. And then we ended up in the toilet for 2 years. I mean, we were already kind of swirling. But hey, we finally got a quarterback now. Well, at least we hope so. If he can have 2 years in a row that are any good, we'll see. Oh, let's close that. So I thought I was working on the wrong thing, but apparently I'm not, because this is the right thing. All right. Let's go back down here. I don't know what. All I know. I've handled all the business logic, text, test game IDs. All right, let's do this. This is my C# stuff. Man, there's a lot of freaking code update here, man. Oh, this is C# stuff. As in, it's gonna go in. Finally, let's update the run game class in Unity. All right, well, let's go up to number 1. Going on number 2, 3. I asked it for a big deal. I mean, what I asked for was huge. So yeah, this is big. And it's gonna help me to test my code, I hope. Gatewaysimulator.go. Okay, so I don't know why we have to update the simulator.go, but okay. What are we doing here? So we got semi-sand. I gotta follow it because I can't wholesale replace. Run game. Assume method not allowed. Methods. Run game handler. Parse request body. Run game handler is still pretty meaty. Thing is, it doesn't use. If I have a game ID, it already has teams. But I guess I got to generate something. It's gonna have to create. Yeah, all right. Let's let it do that. I guess. Maybe I will parse some stuff into it. I don't know why. All right. So we got Marshall. Create a request for the simulator service. And then call the simulator service. Don't know why it's doing it that way, but I'll try it. And then this guy does this thing. Create a request. This is doing the same thing. I don't know why we have to. I guess it forces it to fit the right kind of call. I mean, it already kind of does. So I don't understand why we're doing it again. I just needed an import. Okay, so now we got to go on to the next thing. Now let's update the simulator service to handle dummy data. Okay, so we're going to go back up to the simulator service. And we'll try to see what method are we changing here. It's got, this just must be the service data, run game. Right, so this doesn't look right. Are your changes applying to my existing code base? Your run game code looks like it completely rewrites my existing run game code. Did you even look to see if I already had those functions? See, I gotta do something, right? It's still making mistakes like that, and I hate that. When making code suggestion status, do not change the name of existing methods. If a code suggestion would include significant factoring, in this project, all player movement. Okay. Check existing code. In each project for existing functions, methods, classes, enums, structs, models of the same name prior to creating new ones. In the FPFM Go MS project, all services should be reviewed. Prior to creating any new code suggestions. I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can write this in a way that stops ignoring stuff. Let's modify existing code to add these test features without replacing your current implementations. Thank you. Thank you, code, for making me catch your doodle headiness. And this is what I'm talking about. If I was to like do this through like agent, it would have wrote this code and it would have totally screwed my stuff. That would not have made me happy at all. I would have been a much unhappy camper. So, alright, so we're gonna do this. You'll see that I'm not like just copying its code in. I am first making sure that I am seeing what it's doing first, making sure that whatever it does that's new. Sometimes I miss things, but it's better to miss things than it is to let it break things. Okay, it doesn't look like it does anything. So is it just calling? Oh, return, create, test, run, game response. Okay. So we have a new function down here, I imagine. Yep, there it is. I feel like there's probably a better way to write this piece of code, but it's probably okay. Let's update one game data in Unity. Is that it? No. Oh, maybe. Alright, let's go look at my run game data. It did break some things, but we'll fix that in a minute. Shouldn't be doing that, but we'll work on that. Alright, so create a run game function, which is like the initial call to all things. Getting the game going, and then we got next play. which is probably good because I think the one I have is completely wonky here. Let's update the run game class in Unity, which is probably under game setup. Simulator. This might actually be able to be used better. All right, let's go back down here now. I think that was the last thing of that. Now, that was big, that was huge, it was monstrous. But let's go back down to my game, run game, which has some bugs. Player, all Y grid position, all X grid position. What the heck? You didn't even use. Did you? Yeah. Testing fields to the actual profile because the names in the test responses don't line up. Yeah, that's what I just said. Hey, you've identified something. These don't line up. I'm like, yeah, dummy. Ball X grid position. I was referring to the create test next play response. you define pd dot play progress log and set field values that don't exist in that response type in the proto. Where is it getting these values from? Turn on. Ball Y grid position. I think it's cool that it created a play progress log for me, but I don't even know that there's a step number in my play progress log. My play progress log. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's gonna be like a bajillion plays. I'm just gonna have so many now. I'm gonna have so many IDs. It'd be like play 9,763 jillion. It's gonna be a lot of plays. Because if I get, okay, let's say on the off chance I get 1 million people to download this game and 1 million people play a game. Every game could have 100 plays. That's one game. If 1 million people play one game, or 500,000 play 2 games, or something like that. But either way, you're still talking about every game has 90 to 150 plays. So let's say 100 plays a game. So you got 100 plays times 1 million people or 1 million games. That's 100 million records. That's just one game for those 1 million downloaders. And even if I only have 10,000, it's 100. That's still, you're still talking about 100,000, right? Actually, no, that's 1 million records. It's 1 million records if I just get 10,000 downloads and they all play one game. Yeah, that's a lot. Well, no, that's 100,000, right? 10,000. You add 3 zeros to the 10,000. Oh, wait, no, is that right? No, you had 3 zeros to 10,000. Plus 2 zeros. It's 1 million. Okay, I was right. It's 1 million lines. That's it. Those 10,000 only play one game. Who plays only one game? You don't hate a game after one game. You hate a game after 2 or 3 or 4 or a season. I mean, a season of games, so that's like 10,000 people playing one season. And they've got, that's, what? A lot of freaking games. Because every game, if you play 1 week, if you play one game but you don't play a week, I don't even know how you would only play that. Because if you do it with a league, you play a whole week. That's 32 games. Well, if you're playing in a full league, but still, 32 games. That's 3,200 plays. 3,200 plays a week for every person who plays 1 week in a league. I mean, we are talking some serious gajillionation. We're gonna have how many plays? How many plays? So you could be running if a game goes on for 5, 6, 7 years, you could be running a play that is play number 1 trillion blah 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 blah. It'd be PLY underscore blah 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 blah. Some crazy long play ID. Because it's not like it's going to reset it, even though I'm not going to keep every single game in the system. That number is going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to get to be a monster. It's a good thing it's a string, because it's going to be like a paragraph of numbers. At some point, I imagine it starts to stop gaining digits. Because you move into the trillions, you are talking about a lot of freaking weeks and years, and it's probably fine. But still, it seems like a lot when you have, 16 digits. Well, it's 10:10. I'm going to bed. I'll continue to plug on this tomorrow. I just getting dummy data set up so that I can start trying to do stuff with my sim. I have put some code in to start handling some basic sim stuff, but I got to get everything in place to start testing it. So we'll continue on.